Mike Bond here with Paige VanZant, who always has a lot going on. Paige, how are we doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. It's great to talk to you again. And like I said, you're always busy, lots of things going on. I guess we can start with kind of the BKFC side of things. I know recently David Feldman, the president, had kind of come out and said they were working on a contract extension for you. Where do things stand with that right now? Have you got that deal done yet?
No, the deal's not done yet. Right now, that's kind of where we're still at. But there's not like a rush right now to do that because I still have my next fight coming up with them in London on July 9th. So I think we're gonna probably really start the contract negotiations for that after the fight. If not, I think my manager's probably still working on it right now.
Okay, that's great. And obviously, they got a lot of events coming up. One on Friday, April 30th, May 6th, lots after. But yeah, that July 9th event that came out and it kind of was announced their first international event going over to London. What does it mean to you that they're kind of putting the onus on you to kind of carry that show? And does that something that really excited you to kind of bring it over to that market?
It's extremely exciting. Honestly, I've traveled a lot internationally. I've been able to fight a few fights internationally. I haven't been able to fight in London yet, but I have gone to events in London, and I know how electric and how amazing and supportive the fans are. So when they gave me the opportunity and asked if I would want to be on that card, of course I jumped on it immediately. I just love the international fans. I feel like they're just so supportive. The energy and the audience is always electric. So I wanted to have my opportunity to fight over there.
Definitely. And do we have an opponent set? Is that still being discussed? Anything you can share on that front?
Still being discussed. I actually haven't heard anything about that thus far. We're still pretty far out. So
Mhm.
I think for them, I think once it gets a little bit closer to the fight, they'll really nail down that card.
Is there anyone that you see that's like, piques your interest, whether it's maybe a rematch of one of the fights you had or someone new? Is there anything out there that you're kind of hoping comes together?
Not necessarily at this moment. I think that there's a lot of girls coming over to BKFC still, so there's still a lot of talent to choose from. Truly, I kind of leave that up to my coaches, my manager, Dave Feldman. Everyone else can kind of deal with the matchup side of things. I like to just show up and fight. I feel like I have so much stress on my plate already, and there's so much stress as fighters and athletes to just go out there and perform. I like to take that away, and I just like to leave the opponent and matchmaking to other people.
And by the time this fight happens, it'll be just shy of a year since your last one. Has it felt like that long? And I mean, how much are you just itching to compete? I know you got a lot of other stuff that you're doing, and we'll get into kind of the pro wrestling side and all that stuff. But just to get in there and trade punches again, how much have you missed that?
Yeah, it definitely has felt like a year. It's felt like a very long time. Unfortunately, it just happens the way the world works sometimes. But I'm really excited. I'm excited to go out there and show again my boxing and show how much I've improved. I'm still learning a brand new sport, so I'm excited to continue to grow within BKFC. I of course have talked to them about a contract extension, so I plan to grow with them and continue to grow in the boxing and bare knuckle boxing world.
And what have you been doing training wise since the last one? I know you were working with some guys in Miami and then still kind of doing some MMA stuff at American Top Team. Is that still kind of the training schedule or have you changed it up at all?
Right now I'm just, working mostly just at American Top Team. They brought in another boxing coach, which is really convenient. The hard thing is ATT has so many high level talented athletes that the coaches were spread pretty thin. Whereas now they brought in another boxing coach, so I think I'm going to be able to do my entire camp with American Top Team.
And it's been a few years now since you guys have relocated from Portland to Coconut Creek. There, how beneficial has that move been? I mean, I know being down there probably opens up a lot of other doors to you outside of just training and stuff. But like, is that a move that you're very confident and happy that you guys made a few years back now?
Extremely happy, honestly. Moving here, obviously, with my career, there's been some hurdles to jump through, but that's just been life, and that's just the way it goes being a professional fighter. But altogether, career wise, we couldn't be happier with the move to Florida, with the transition over to American Top Team in Florida. We love Dan Lambert, we love all the coaches, the whole team. I feel like it was the right move for us, just business wise, career wise. Austin's had a ton of success as well. So he got to fight for the title for Bellator. He was on an amazing win streak with American Top Team. I'm sure it'll be a few fights, and then he gets to fight for the title again. I'm extremely happy, and having my management here in Florida, being a little bit closer to them, they've opened up some new doors for me being here in Florida as well.
That's great. And as far as this contract extension goes, I know you said you're kind of going to leave it up to your team to figure it out, but is there particular things you're hoping for that come out of this? I know when you first signed there, made a lot of waves with, you talking about how financially lucrative it was and all that kind of stuff. But coming into this next one, what do you kind of want to be different?
I don't really have any differences. I'm extremely happy with BKFC, and I think that's the great thing that I've never been in this position before, where I'm really happy with the company I'm fighting for. I love BKFC. I love Dave Feldman. They've treated me with nothing but respect the entire time, and you can see that even with even beyond me, they're bringing in such amazing talent. They're doing something right. They brought in Chad Mendez. They brought in Mike Perry. A lot of these extremely high level athletes and talent. So I think they're going to continue to do that. And I think they're going to keep talent for a very long time because of the way they treat people. So I don't have any complaints. And I know that for me, it's just the legal side, and my manager takes care of that. And I just get to go fight.
Yeah, and as far as the fight itself, I mean, how hungry are you for victory in this next one? I know, the first two you put on great performances and you learned a lot. How much are you going to be able to parlay that, and how confident, regardless of the opponent, do you feel like you're going to be able to get your hand raised in this one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the goal every fight, and I think one thing that I can find peace in is that for me, losing has never gotten easier. It just gets harder and harder. So I know how much my heart is it's still in this in my mind. So yeah, I just put a lot of pressure on myself. It's the same thing that I'll be doing in this next fight. I'm going to go out there and do everything I can to get the victory. I can say, especially looking back at my last two fights, I was never dominated. I was never in a position where I was, uncomfortable. I think that I can pride myself knowing that I have gotten better and better, and my boxing continuously is getting better. And I've had some very, very close, tough, hard fought fights with some very talented women. So I'm excited to go out there and do that again. And this time, of course, just continue to grow and go for a victory like I always do.
For sure. And as far as, you got all that training going on, then you got the AEW stuff going on. That's obviously really exciting as well. I know when you did that interview with Ariel Helwani about a month ago, you'd said, it was really coming up that you were going to dive deep into that. Tell us how the past few weeks been.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. And honestly, the way things have worked out career-wise, focusing on boxing, bare knuckle boxing and the wrestling, they're actually the perfect fit for each other because they are completely different. They really don't counteract. So I think career-wise, I'm having the most fun I've ever had. Working my pro wrestling, going out there to get some amazing matches in the pro wrestling world, as well as competing in bare knuckle boxing. I'm excited. I've had a lot of fun. Dan Lambert kind of was the one who introduced me into the AEW pro wrestling world. And the second I got a taste for it, I fell in love, and I knew it was something I was going to be extremely good at.
And I know I'm always curious, someone who's doing MMA training and, fighting or, bare knuckle in this instance, and then you're going in there and we all know with pro wrestling, to a degree, you're pulling your punches, you need to make it look good and stuff, but you're not, I'm sure, hitting the person with the same intention and force. Is that difficult to kind of make the strikes look good? And then obviously, do you have to pull back a little bit? Is it hard to counter some instincts you've had from training actual fighting for however many years and going in there and doing that part of the training?
Back, I just had a run in with Ty Conti, and I definitely didn't pull any punches there. Her and her man got some beef coming, so I know they've been trying to get a match with me for a while now, and don't know if they've earned it yet, but we'll see. I'm excited to see what that turns into and where we go from here.
Okay, interesting. And when do you think maybe the first real full-fledged match will come?
I don't know. I mean, I'm still in communication with AEW on that. I, again, leave a lot of things up to my management team. I have these people in place to take care of the stress for me. But I'm training hard, and I know that there's a lot of girls in the division that would be excited to have a match against me. So I'm just training hard, and I want to go out there and put on a really good performance and really honor pro wrestling and all that it is and all the fans in the pro wrestling world.
Is it tricky to divide the time up, between that training and the BKFC training? What would you say is kind of taking the priority, or do you feel like you're able to split your time where it all, gets the focus of your attention?
No, I have an amazing group of people in my life, amazing team that have put together the perfect schedule for me. I sat down and wrote and planned something out that's going to be really beneficial towards both avenues. So it's a good balance of what I have my schedule right now. I have some amazing coaches that I'm working with. It's CCW here in Florida. I get to work with Gangrel, who's a legendary pro wrestler. So he's getting me ready for my first match this time. And it's the nice thing. I have personal relationships with all my coaches, and they're just a text away. I think everybody that I have in my life is definitely focused their attention on me to have the best path to victory in every avenue that I'm pursuing right now.
How much nicer is that at this point? I mean, I imagine, a few years ago, maybe it was a little more scrambled, maybe a little more disorganized. Like, how big of a difference is it from what it was maybe earlier when you were in your early 20s to what it is now, kind of in your late 20s?
Honestly, I do have, I don't have any complaints of any gym that I've trained at or with or coaches. I've been fortunate enough to have some amazing people in my life. Even when I was training in Portland, they were extremely organized. Everything really, the attention was focused on me. I've never felt like I was lacking really attention or structure. I think there was just benefits to moving out to Florida. Of course, having more women to train with. It's hard for me to find a gym that has this many women to train with, and that's a big difference, training with women versus men. So there's just a few more extra benefits being in Florida. I wouldn't necessarily say that I had negatives anywhere. I just wasn't getting as many perks. And I think Dan has set up American Top Team to fully utilize and fully focus the attention on the athletes, and they're getting everything they need and more.
Yeah, that's all you want to hear. And
Yeah.
as far as mixed martial arts, I mean, I know you've said that it's always something that's in the back of your mind, a possibility. Where does that kind of fit in the grand scheme right now? Is it probably on the back burner, would you say, compared with everything else going on?
Right now I'm definitely focused. I have a lot on my plate with BKFC and with AEW, but I don't know. I'm 28. I just turned 28 years old, so I don't really like to say a door's closed unless I know it is for sure, and it's definitely not in a place where I'm, ready to hang my hat up entirely. So we'll see. I'm having a lot of fun right now with bare knuckle boxing and with pro wrestling. So I don't really have my heart saying yes or no on absolutely anything right now.
Yeah, and I know, part of your other time goes to your fan website, Paige VanZant. I know that's, really blowing up too. I'm curious. We know, in 2022, content is king, and you put out a lot of, good content on there. What's the biggest challenge of that? Maybe, coming up with different type of ideas, different things that you can do to kind of obviously, satisfy these people that are subscribing and, looking for content from you.
For me, it's easy. I think my entire career throughout the UFC, early on, everyone said I was a master at social media. I still feel like I am. It's definitely another, not a full-time job for me. It's more, I have fun. I get to communicate. The difference between regular social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, those all things I do have, and I am very active on. It's a select group of people that are paying for my time. So I feel like they get that one-on-one interaction. I get to talk to people personally every day. Whereas on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I'm not able to respond to everybody all the time. So I find the balance actually really easy. It's something I have a lot of fun with. And in between training sessions, I can get on there and talk to people and respond. And I don't really have a problem like balancing, I guess, because it is so fun for me. It's a passion of mine. It's really easy for me to just go on there and just be myself.
Yeah, what would you say is there something that stands out as maybe the coolest collaboration you've done, or someone you've met through this kind of journey on the social media side? Obviously, I see you doing a lot of things with other influencers and things like that. Is there a relationship you made or someone that you've met through this?
No, so I mean, of course, I have an amazing team. Fan Time, they've been an amazing support system too. They made the transition over to the site extremely easy, and just stress, less stress, no stress for me. I guess they've done as much as they can to help me. But then I have my best friend here in Florida who was just a nurse, and then my friend Erica, I got her on the fan time as well. Now she's just overnight turned into an influencer, and she's absolutely killing it. So I love that I was able to bring some girls, and I'm trying to promote as many girls as I can on the site and really bring them some of the perks that I'm getting too. I like to share the love, and I'm happy that it benefits other people's lives too.
And I know, in this day and age, a lot of people want to kind of break into that field and be successful with their social media and stuff. And I know you don't want to maybe give away any of your secrets or anything here, but what would you say is like the biggest piece of advice you could give someone that's maybe trying to, enhance their social media profile or gain traction, whether it's a Twitter, an Instagram, a TikTok, or what have you?
Yeah, no, I don't mind sharing all. I don't really have secrets. I feel like I don't ever, my candle doesn't dim by lighting somebody else's. So for me, it's I tell everybody you have to post every day. I think it's important to be as authentic as possible. Truly be yourself, because otherwise it comes off as like corny or cheesy, and people just want to know the real you, and that's, I feel like, why I've had a lot of success. And it's me and my husband messing around on Instagram or messing around on Facebook or posting our lives. On my TikTok, you can see a lot of the funny things that me and my husband do, and we're just crazy. But then I also get to share like my fight side, my fun, sexy side. And then for any girls that want to try to put their foot in the, I guess, exclusive content door, the link in my profile, you can go on there and there's a link where you can click it and it says create your own exclusive content site. And that'll just kind of set you up and show you what to do and how to get started in that world.
Also, I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that advice. And I know you'd mentioned, you just turned 28 last month. What was the best thing you did for your birthday?
Oh gosh. I did end up going out to dinner. It was actually, I don't really like celebrating birthdays. I just feel like it's another reminder that I'm a year older and I didn't accomplish all the things I wanted to accomplish that year. So I didn't have any plans, but my husband kind of texted a few people and got it set up, and we went out to Mexican food here in Florida.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I turned 31 in a few weeks, so I'm just dreading it. So here we go. But really appreciate the time, Paige. It's always great to catch up with you. It seems like you always got a full slate of stuff going on, so it's exciting. We're gonna see you back this summer in the bare knuckle ring. So looking forward to seeing you get an opponent nailed down, and then obviously going in there, I'm sure it'll be pretty exciting for the company to have you enter that territory for them.
Yep, awesome. Thank you so much.